Hello and welcome to Fit to Box channel. Please like and subscribe and jab that notifications bell for my twice weekly uploads. Today I have for you a rematch between a Nike Hyper KO in the new colourway and Reebok's latest buck boots in the black snakeskin. The first matchup that I did between these two boots was when Reebok had just released the new buck boots in the original colourways, and the actual boots that I reviewed were a black and white pair, and they were against a pair of Nike Hyper KOs which were white, red, blue with Manny Pacquiao on the actual logo. Now that was August 2016, and in the time since, Nike have released a range of new colourways, and recently Reebok have done the same. The original head-to-head was a Nike Hyper KO victory, and you can check out that video. Now in boxing we all love a rematch. Will the winner of the first bout confirm that the first win was justified, and will they win in that rematch? Or will the loser of the first bout be able to turn the tables and come out victorious in the second bout? What has changed in between, in the time between the first bout and the second bout? It's always an interesting concept when it comes to boxing matches, and that's pretty much why I wanted to do this head-to-head now. It has been over a year since these two boots met, and now with the new colourways, I think it's only right that this rematch happens. Now I do these head-to-heads as a bit of fun, really, to show you around both boots and to give you, my take on the differences. So these really are my personal opinion. You may see it differently, and that is fine. It is, as I say, it's just my view on these. I would say score it for yourself and come to your own decision. If I say, for example, I like, say, this heel, and I think it's better than this heel, then if you're having a look at the video and you look and you think, well, actually I like this one better, this heel better, then that's your decision. Just because I say the heel on this one is the one that I prefer doesn't mean that the one that you prefer isn't better for you. So it's about taste, it's about preference. I'm just doing this to just give you a bit of a guide and a bit of a look round both boots, while giving it a little bit of a score from my point of view. So if there are rounds that you are not bothered about at all, then don't include them in your scoring. Okay, if you're not bothered what the boots look like, you just want them to be functional, then rounds like brand and style, they're not as important to you, so discount them, or put the preference and put the amount of actual emphasis on the rounds that you actually do care about. Okay, now one thing I will point out in a head-to-head when it's a boots head-to-head is some people have narrow feet and some people have wide feet. So regardless of what you think in the other rounds when it comes to comfort, you have to take that on board, okay? So, you can like the look of one more than the other, you can like the sole on one more than the other, but ultimately, if you have narrow feet or if you have wide feet, there is an actual difference in which of these two boots that you should be choosing. If you have a wide foot, you would be better with the Reebok boots. They are better for wide feet. If you have a narrower foot, then the Nike Hyper KO boots are better for slimmer feet. Inside the boots as well, the Nike Hyper KO have a raised bump inside there on the foot, whereby in the Reeboks the insole is flatter. So again, you have to take that on board when I'm doing this, because at the end of the day, you don't want to order a pair of boots that when you get them, they're not fitting properly. So that said, let's get on with the rematch. The Nike Hyper KO versus the Reebok Buck Boots the rematch, match number 2. Here we go. Okay, so as I see it, when it comes to these head-to-heads, and I've done a few of these head-to-heads for the boots, and I would say that the old champion and current champion is the Nike Hyper KO, because this boot has been my favourite boot, as you know, for many, many years. I've got about 4 or 5 pairs in all different colours. I've loved them since they first come out, and I still love them now. They are absolutely great. In this particular matchup, I would look at this as the young, fresh challenger. I did like them in the original sort of colourways when they came out, but I have to say that now they've brought out this one in the snakeskin. This also comes out in all white as well, and I think they've really upped their game when it comes to what these boots look like. Okay, so let's start off the contest, and here we go. 12 rounds. It's going to be 10 points for the winner, 9 points for the loser of a round. If it's too close to call, it will be a 10-10. If it's a more dominant round for one than the other, then it will be a 10-8 or a 10-7 or even a 10-6 round. So just so you know how the scoring works, let's crack on with round number 1, brand. Now, when it came to the first actual contest between these two, I did get a bit of stick really from a couple of viewers who, because I said that Nike was the bigger brand, they said that that was no reason why in the round of brand that the Nike should just win. So, you know what, I'll still stick by that. I do think that Nike are the bigger brand, but what I have acknowledged for this particular contest is the fact that Reebok have been supporting combat sports, UFC and boxing. They have really been supporting combat sports in the last sort of 18 months. And that I have to give them credit for. You know, Floyd Mayweather, the Floyd versus Conor match, Conor Ben, in the past obviously Amir Khan. So, you know, credit where credit's due. Reebok are featuring a lot more than they used to, and for that reason I am going to give it a 10-10 in round 1 brand. I have to say Nike, they do some great boots, and there is some other stuff that they do with boxing wise, but I don't feel like they're making as much effort for combat sports as Reebok, and that's why that round is a draw, 10-10. Round number 2, toe. When it comes to the toe, I'll show you both toes here, as you can see there, and then the Reebok one, you can see the toe there. And I can't split them in this round. I think they're both good toes. I've discussed before about sort of some of the times when the sole comes away on the Nike Hyper KO. I'll cover that off in later rounds in terms of sort of how they look and how practical they are as toes in boxing boots. Then I think that both of these are equally as good, and round 2 is 10-10. Round 3 is sole. When it comes to the sole of the Nike Hyper KO, I think it's a very nice looking sole. I think it is very functional. I do like, and have always liked, the way it wraps up around the sides and the back of the boot, and I do really like that sole. On the ones that I've got, yeah, after a while it does start to sort of wear a little bit thin, but you know what, I have used my Nike Hyper KOs for hundreds of rounds, and they're still great to use. When it comes to the Reebok sole, that flat, I still think that flatness, even though it's very, very functional and very durable, I still do think that does look a little cheap on these boots. And so for that reason, I am going to give it 10 points to the Nike Hyper KO and 9 points to the Reebok. Round 4, heel. When it comes to the heel, Nike has got that wrap up there where the sole comes at the back, and then you've got on the heel on the Reebok, which is just that flat sort of surface at the bottom there. And I am going to give this as a 10 points to 9 points to the Nike Hyper KO, because I like the way that that wraps up at the back. Round 5, and we're looking at the inner and outer side of the boot. So there is the outer side of the Nike Hyper KO, and as you can see, it's a lovely looking boot, and I have always liked the style on this boot. And then we come on to the snakeskin effect that is on this boot, and I think this has really took this boot up a couple of notches when it comes to the actual style. I really do like what they've done, and for that reason round 5 is 10-10. Round 6, and we're looking at laces and tongue. On the actual Nike Hyper KO, you've got, there you go, you've got that strap across there, which I do like. That's nice, and then you've got the laces there. So this is a strong round, I would say, for the actual Nike boot. Just bring that up there, so you've got that, and you can see how that Velcro goes across and gives a little bit more of a tighter fastening at the bottom of the laces. And I do like that at the top you've got Hyper KO on there. And then on to the laces and tongue. Nice gold badge on the actual Reebok, and then you've got the laces, so much simpler when it comes to the laces on there. And for that reason I am going to give this round 10 points to the Nike Hyper KO and 9 points to the Reebok Buck boot. Then we come on to round 7, and round 7 is ankle. The ankle on here, you've got that Velcro support around the ankle, and as you can see as I bring it round, that does give a bit extra support when it comes to the ankle, and I do think that that does look really good as well. And then when you come to, you've got the fly wire that is those little strap supports around the ankle of this particular boot, and then obviously they're both sort of mid-height boots, mid-cut boots. Okay, so this round we're talking ankle, and it is Reebok 10 points and 9 points to the Nike Hyper KO. Then we come on to round number 8, and round 8 is durability. I mentioned earlier about I've had experiences where the soles start to come away, and also about the sole sort of wearing down. I do still think that this is a very durable boot. As I say, you know, I've got quite a few pairs, and I continue to buy pairs. I bought a pair the other day, a yellow pair. I really do like them. There's no doubt about it. In terms of durability though, sometimes, especially with that, when it comes away at the toe and you have to stick it with glue, that is very disappointing. And then with these boots, there's more and more guys wearing these in the gym, and they are holding up very well. I've had a look round and seen sort of the durability on those guys' boots, and I will have to say that they are good. So 10 points to the Reebok boot and 9 points on durability for the Nike Hyper KO. Round 9, comfort. Comfort, both of these boots are absolutely superb when it comes to comfort. I have already mentioned about the fact that this one has got a raised arch and is better for narrower feet. And I've also mentioned about this being a flat inner sole, okay, and also better for wide feet. And I think that is very important, just to reiterate. If you have got a wide foot, this may not be the boot for you. This may be more comfortable. So as I said before, regardless of whether or not you like the looks of this one better than that one, when it comes to functionality and comfort, if you've got a wide flat foot, this one is the boot. as opposed to this one is what I would say. So I am going to give it a 10-10 round in round 9 comfort. They're both comfortable on my feet. My feet, they're perhaps a little bit more narrow, so for me personally, this is the actual more comfortable one. This one is a little bit more roomy around this area here, but I acknowledge that there is people out there with different types of feet, and you know, some people would find this uncomfortable because it would be too narrow for them. So I'm going to give it a 10-10 round 9 comfort. Then we come on to round number 10, and that is style. As I say, with this boot, I've always loved the style. I actually like the Manny Pacquiao version. I really did like that because it had obviously the Pacquiao and Manny down the sides here. I thought that was really subtle, and it also had the Manny Pacquiao logo on there as well. But I've always liked it. I like the fact that they've refreshed the colourways. But I have to say that this boot is getting a bit old in the tooth in terms of it has been around for quite a few years now. And then we come on to the updated snakeskin design of this boot, and I really do think that this makes this boot look stunning. I really liked it. As soon as I saw it, I thought I've got to have a pair of them, and that's what I did. I went out and I just ordered some from the Reebok website, and they are stunning. So I don't think there's many boots that compete with the Nike Hyper KO for style. I happen to think that this boot does, and so this is going to be a draw round 10-10 when it comes to style. Round 11, performance, and I've wore both of these. You will know that I wore these in my sparring video, so you'll see me in those. I've worn Nike Hyper KOs for years and years and years, so I know very well how both of these boots perform in the ring, and the performance for both of these is a 10-10. I do have a couple of comments occasionally that say, oh, you know, this person's, you know, he's reviewing them and he hasn't even wore the stuff. I mean, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't do that. I do review everything that I put on the channel. Otherwise, I'm just picking up a brand new pair of boots or gloves and just like talking off the cuff. That is not my style at all, and hopefully that comes across in the footage and actually what I know about the different items. But yeah, I have wore these. Obviously, I've wore these a lot more because I've had these many years, or different types of the Nike Hyper KO. But these are a great boot to use as well. And as I say, round 11 performance, I can't split them. That is a 10-10 round. Round 12, and we are into the final round, and this is value for money. Again, I had a comment the other day that said if something was cheaper, that obviously that would win the round. I don't think that's the case, because with value for money, you are looking at how long something lasts, how they feel, how they look, how you feel when you've got the item on. In saying that, this boot is £169, so that is an expensive boot. As I say, they're well worth the money, and I would spend that sort of every day for a pair of these. They are definitely value for money, but this boot is £79.95, and I cannot get away from the fact that that is a hell of a boot. Outstanding value for money. To get a boot that looks like that, stunning boots for the money. And when you think about it, you could get like 2 of these pairs of boots for one of these pair of boots. And how close it has been in the other rounds, that is a 10-8 round. So I've covered off all parts of both of the boots. Really do like both of these boots. It is a very close contest, but I have got a decision in this rematch, and the decision is as follows. We have 116 points to 117 points, and the winner of this rematch by 1 point is the Reebok Buck Snakeskin boot that comes out by 1 point as the winner of this contest. When you look at the rounds, it really does, that last round of the value for money really does sort of secure this victory. So wanted to bring you that. As you know, I love both of these boots. They're personal favourites of mine in my collection. But what a great contest that was. I'm glad I bought you the update and bought you that rematch. First round went to the Nike Hyper KO, and then this rematch, that's Reebok's, with their excellent value for money and improved style with that snakeskin effect on that boot. So, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to Fit to Box channel, and I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.